In a small town in Texas, where dreams often feel too distant to reach, a young girl watched her mother rehearse lines on a modest stage. She didn't know it then, but that dimly lit theater would ignite a spark that would one day light the world. Her name was Selena Marie Gomez. From her very first steps onto a television set, Selena's journey was shaped not only by talent, but by resilience, by a spirit determined to rise, no matter the weight of the world around her. She would soon capture hearts across the globe as a quick-witted wizard, but behind the laughter and applause lay a young woman learning to navigate the growing pains of fame. As she matured, so did her artistry. Acting, singing, producing, entrepreneurship. Selena didn't simply evolve, she reinvented. What began as a childhood dream transformed into a multifaceted empire built through vulnerability, courage, and an unwavering desire to use her voice for something greater. But Selena's story is not defined by success alone. Behind the spotlight came battles unseen, struggles with health, heartbreak, and the pressures of living a life constantly examined. Yet through every challenge, she chose transparency. She chose honesty. And she chose to stand as an advocate for millions who felt unheard. Today, Selena Gomez is more than an entertainer. She is a symbol of strength. A voice for mental wellness. A creator who dares to speak her truth. And an icon who continues to redefine what it means to be both powerful and human. This is the remarkable journey of a girl from Grand Prairie who became one of the most influential figures of her generation. This is the story of Selena Gomez. Selena Marie Gomez was born on July 22, 1992, in Grand Prairie, Texas, the only child of Ricardo Joel Gomez and Amanda Dawn Mandy née Cornette Tiffey. Named after the beloved Tejano singer Selena Quintanilla, Selena arrived into a small-town household shaped by performing arts and cultural threads that would later color much of her creative life. Her father is of Mexican descent, her mother, who was adopted as an infant, traces ancestry that includes Italian roots. Selena's childhood home, Sunday barbecues, the ritual of church attendance, and the stories of immigrant grandparents form the foundation of an identity she has repeatedly described as a proud blend of cultures. These early horizons, rooted in family and modest Texan rhythms, would later contrast to the dizzying speed of fame she would encounter as a child actor. Selena's parents divorced when she was 5 years old. After the separation, she remained primarily in the care of her mother, Mandy, whose own background in stage production exposed Selena to show business from a young age. Mandy's involvement in local theater and school plays gave Selena an early window into performance, the backstage discipline, the ritual of rehearsals, the hush before a curtain lifts. These small, formative experiences seeded a seriousness about craft that set her apart from many child actors who view performing exclusively as play. At age 7 she moved with her mother to Los Angeles as opportunities began to appear, an upheaval that would test a child's capacity to adapt but would also provide the stage on which she would grow. Selena's formal schooling was intermittently replaced by on-set tutors once her acting career accelerated. Like many child performers who balance school and work, she split time between classes and rehearsals, learning to parcel childhood and professional obligations into a daily routine. Beyond formal academics, the most consequential education she received was practical, camera blocking, vocal coaching, the cadence of interviews, and the emotional labor of public life. From the earliest roles she developed a discipline of preparation, learning lines, practicing takes, and studying characters, that matured into a professional rigor often remarked upon by directors and peers. Selena's first television role was on the children's series Barney and Friends in 2002, where she played the character Gianna and appeared in a number of episodes between 2002 and 2004. She followed that with small parts in film and television, bit parts in Spy Kids 3D, Game Over, 2003, and a role in the made-for-TV film Walker, Texas Ranger, Trial by Fire, 2005. These early roles were modest in scale but colossal in impact. They taught Selena the mechanics of set life and introduced her to casting processes and the grind of auditions. By the time she landed recurring work on Disney Channel guest spots, most notably a role on Hannah Montana, it was evident that the industry's gears were beginning to turn in her favor. The year 2007 marked a decisive turning point. Selena auditioned for and won the lead role of Alex Russo on Disney Channel's Wizards of Waverly Place. The series became a hit and transformed Selena from a child actor into a household name among preteen and teenage audiences. Alex Russo's blend of sarcasm, vulnerability, and magical hijinks fit Selena's expressive talents like a glove. She was allowed to be funny, dramatic, and emotionally accessible on national television. Wizards did more than raise Selena's profile. It trained her in the art of carrying a show, managing publicity, and forming a fan rapport that would endure into adulthood. During this period she became a teen idol, headlining concerts and merchandise campaigns, and she also found an outlet in music, initially through cast-related releases and then with her band Selena Gomez and The Scene. This band released albums and toured, establishing Gomez as a recording artist in parallel with her television career. The Disney era provided both the scaffolding of fame and an early education in the responsibilities and scrutiny that accompany public life. Leaving Disney is a difficult and delicate step for many performers who wish to be seen as grown-up artists. Selena navigated this transition through deliberate role choices and musical pivots. On film she sought roles that showcased range. Movies such as Spring Breakers, 2012, placed her in edgier, more adult narratives. Later dramatic turns in films like The Fundamentals of Caring, 2016, and The Dead Don't Die, 2019, reinforced the impression of an actor intent on craft rather than mere celebrity. Musically, Gomez departed from bubblegum pop and embraced more mature themes and sounds. With singles that explored heartbreak and self-discovery, and with albums such as Revival, 2015, she stepped into a persona that married vulnerability with a pop sensibility keen on emotional nuance. The music became a confessional platform. Songs were not simply catchy hooks but testimonies of growth. This stylistic maturation culminated in chart milestones, including her first #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 with Lose You to Love Me, 2019, a song that was widely interpreted as an elegy to a previous chapter of her life. By the mid-2010s, Selena Gomez was no longer simply a former Disney actor, she was a global entertainer and entrepreneur. She amassed enormous social media followings, at various points becoming the most followed woman on Instagram, and used that platform judiciously, for music promotion, film announcements, advocacy, and to launch business ventures. In 2020 she founded Rare Beauty, a cosmetics company with an explicit mission of promoting mental health and self-acceptance. The brand later established the Rare Impact Fund to raise funds for mental health services. Her business acumen extended beyond beauty. She invested in food delivery services, launched fashion collaborations, and became an executive producer on several projects, expanding her footprint in the entertainment industry behind the camera. Selena's career is studded with milestones, chart-topping singles, television awards for Wizards of Waverly Place, and critical praise for film roles. She has appeared on Time's list of the 100 most influential people and earned spots on Forbes' 30 Under 30 lists. Billboard named her Woman of the Year in 2017, an acknowledgement of her influence in music and culture. Rare Beauty's impact and Gomez's philanthropic work have also been recognized in industry and humanitarian circles. These honors mark not just popularity but sustained relevance across music, television, film, and commerce. Selena's personal life has been subject to intense public interest. Relationships, friendships, and private struggles often became tabloid fodder. Yet she sought to maintain contours of privacy and control. Notable relationships were widely reported, romantic partnerships that were followed by millions, but Selena learned to manage the press with a combination of openness and boundaries. She has repeatedly emphasized the value of close friendships and family, and in recent years has spoken candidly about the importance of therapy, self-care, and the hard work of emotional regulation. Her approach to personal life shows a person who has learned resilience not by avoiding pain but by integrating it into a philosophy of growth. One of the most consequential chapters of Selena's life has been her health journey. Diagnosed with lupus, an autoimmune disease, in her early 20s, Gomez faced a series of medical challenges that affected both body and mind. In 2017 she underwent a kidney transplant due to lupus-related organ damage. The kidney was donated by her close friend Francia Reisa. She publicly disclosed the transplant, using the moment to educate fans about lupus, organ donation, and medical urgency. The Lupus Research Alliance and other organizations acknowledged Gomez's role in raising awareness and funds for research into the disease. Her openness extended to mental health. In the documentary Selena Gomez, My Mind and Me, released on Apple TV+, she chronicled a multi-year period that included hospitalizations, the transplant, and therapeutic work. Gomez has publicly discussed being diagnosed with bipolar disorder and described periods of depression and anxiety, sharing not to sensationalize but to destigmatize. Her candid discussions of medication, therapy, and the nonlinear path of recovery have allied her with contemporary movements to normalize mental health care. Her businesses and philanthropic projects, such as the Rare Impact Fund and the mental health platform Wondermind, underscore an activism rooted in personal experience. Selena's trajectory was not without controversy. As with many public figures who came of age in view of millions, she faced scrutiny over personal relationships, social media interactions, and professional decisions, sometimes amplified by the celebrity ecosystem and the internet's appetite for spectacle. She weathered the vitriol of online trolling and disinformation campaigns at times, and public scrutiny of her relationships and body image occasionally overshadowed artistic achievements. Rather than retaliate, Selena often chose to redirect attention toward projects and causes, using her voice to elevate others and to focus on meaningful work. These responses strengthened her public image as someone who sought constructive responses to negative attention. Gomez has used her visibility for causes that reflect personal convictions, mental health, lupus research, immigrant rights, and youth empowerment. She has been involved with UNICEF since 2009, serving as a UNICEF ambassador and participating in field missions, showing early on a commitment to international humanitarian work. Her philanthropic turn deepened with Rare Beauty's philanthropic arm, which pledged to raise substantial funds for mental health services and resources. The Rare Impact Fund was explicitly designed to remove barriers to mental health care for underserved communities. Selena also used her production clout to elevate social issues, executive producing shows and documentaries that highlight immigration, for example, projects like Living Undocumented and Teen Mental Health, notably the controversial but conversation-starting 13 Reasons Why, on which she served as an executive producer. Her philanthropy is anchored in both financial commitments and media choices that prioritize awareness and systemic change. Across acting, music, and business, Selena has collected a broad assortment of awards and accolades. Highlights include television awards for her Disney work, Billboard recognitions, including Woman of the Year in 2017, and repeated inclusions on Time's influential lists. Her music received nominations and wins at the American Music Awards, iHeartRadio Awards, and other industry ceremonies. In 2024, the French government named her a member of the Order of Arts and Letters, an international recognition of cultural impact. These honors reflect both commercial success and cultural influence, reinforcing her position as a multifaceted artist. In recent years, Selena has balanced acting, most notably in the acclaimed television series Only Murders in the Building, with music and business. She released Spanish-language work, Revelation, 2021, collaborated internationally, for example, with K-pop artists, then continued to expand Rare Beauty. She has increasingly taken on producer and executive responsibilities, shaping narratives from behind the camera. The later phase of her career appears defined less by chasing novelty and more by deepening, investing in causes she cares about, producing content that amplifies underrepresented voices, and maturing as an artist who chooses projects with both creative and social resonance. Selena Gomez's legacy is not reducible to album sales or streaming numbers, it is the cumulative cultural imprint of a child star who matured into an artist, entrepreneur, and advocate. Her public candor about illness and mental health shifted discourse, her cosmetic line tied commerce to social purpose, her production work highlighted stories that might otherwise remain marginal. She is a model for young entertainers seeking longevity without losing integrity, is someone who leveraged early fame to build businesses and platforms centered on empathy, care, and access. Crucially, Selena's public ethos, vulnerability, persistence, and service resonates with a generation that values authenticity. She transformed personal struggle into collective advocacy, and for many fans her example is instructive. Fame can be a vehicle for social good when combined with humility and strategic influence. That synthesis, celebrity plus conscience, may be the most enduring element of her legacy.